We're going to move on to our next DVD film, which is Tideland. Eliza Rose is taken to a farmhouse with her father after her mother dies of a heroin overdose. In this new setting, Eliza Rose finds new life through squirrels, plastic Barbie doll heads, and a mentally handicapped boy. Her imagination takes her to places completely new and fresh that lie next to the actual world. She is later introduced to Dell, an older woman, who is both amazing and haunting to her. Eliza must figure out the mysteries and meanings to her imaginative world, but not forget that there's real consequences to her actions in the real world.
Eliza, this is where you belong.
It's the edge of the world. If I shut my eyes, maybe I'll wake inside your tree.
I like this movie a lot. I really did. I mean,
I liked it too. I did.
And Gilliam says at the beginning of the film, which is something like a rule that you probably usually don't want to do, is give away what the movie's about. Mm-hmm. But he points out this is at the point of view of the little girl. Mm-hmm. And he also said, now this is going to be true for a lot of people.
That is true.
He says a lot of you are not going to like this film. I guarantee you, most everyone out there is probably not going to like this film.
I would agree.
And I know why.
So do I.
But the performances felt real. The little girl, Eliza Rose, the girl who played, she was amazing. Phenomenal. She was just incredible. I believed every second of her, and everybody else in it too. Mm-hmm. I mean, these characters were just they were colorful, and the palette, the way it was shot was colorful, the art direction was colorful. It was a kid's movie, but for adults.
I think the reason why we saw that little intro of Terry Gilliam, because it's the DVD, I'm sure it didn't do well in the theaters.
No, it didn't do well. It got
bad
reviews.
So I think that's why he gave
not
that.
Real bad, but bad.
But I think he gave it that intro because, you know, not many people. If you just picked up this video just to watch, I bet you if he did not have that intro on there, I bet you 90% of it, I bet you would shut it off before. Before that even happened. I mean, there's a lot of it deals with the little girl throughout the whole thing, her point of view. So it's dealing with drug use. Mm-hmm. It's not using
incestual
it's not the
comments, things, sexual things in front of her, and I mean, some of it actually gets in the way of her, and it's very disturbing in a lot of ways. But it's so colorful and such a kids movie that it's so innocent at the same time.
Right, and
it really is.
That's what Gilliam says.
That's exactly.
A child is resilient. Child can bounce back from usually anything.
Yeah.
And
the only problem I have with the film is that at the end I felt a little cheated.
I did too.
The characters didn't grow as much as I wanted. Like her, really.
I understand.
And nobody else could have grown. Nobody else could have in this movie except her. She didn't grow as much as I thought. She's pretty much in the same spot. And the only other problem is I have a problem recommending it to certain people because I know for a fact tons of people are going to turn this movie off.
This movie is definitely not for the faint of heart.
Right.
Sometimes it's very for some people it would be very unbearable to watch.
Right.
I know a lot of people would walk out on this film, but at the same time,
I know for me, I mean,
I love Mighty Python, and that's where this is one of the
Gilliam comes
yeah.
from,
I mean that's his creation, and
it's not even It's not Mighty Python. It's its
not.
own
It's
entity.
It's not a comedy.
Totally different
it's
than it's more uncomfortable to watch in a sense than Fear and Loathing, and that can be uncomfortable to watch.
Right. I thought it was phenomenal.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna give it 3.5.
I'm gonna give it 3. Definitely.
I'm going to give it 3.5 because it's such a inventive and emotionally stirring plus like creative film. I mean, and it's just, you don't see vision like that anymore in films.
Right. And it's basically personifying what Terry Gilliam sees himself as.
You're going to give it 3, you said.
I'm going to give it 3, definitely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what type of child are you? That's definitely Terry Gilliam's mind right there.
Yeah, and he says, I mean, it almost, it relives kind of that whole child in you. I mean, he says he found his child in doing that, and you kind of find a little bit of that. If you can get past the surface level stuff and think about it from the children's perspective, it's amazing. It's done very amazing. So 3.5, only because I didn't see much growth in some of the characters, and that felt a little cheated.
I'm gonna give it 3 because I thought that Jeff Bridges' character was a little bit cheated out of acting time. But other than that, it was a phenomenal film.
I don't think that's a good reason to do that, but hey,